Here we go. What is up, everybody? Welcome
Yay.
back to the VR link. How you doing, guys? You all right? This is a
Yep.
crazy show. It sometimes doesn't go quite well. Thank you for all your patience today. I really appreciate it. So this is episode 34. And it's a weekly Sunday VR chat show that gives you and us a chance to discuss some of the latest goings on in virtual reality games and news stories. You can also listen again to the VR link as a podcast on Anchor and Spotify, which Salsa will keep updated. I would like to thank the amazing patrons and channel members whose names are listed below. And if you're looking for ways to support the channel, please check the links in the description. And while you're there, please check out our community Discord. It's now over 500 strong. We have a general chat area, channels for movies, game trailers, individual headsets to arrange multiplayer meetups, high score challenges, and we have a VR news channel as well. And we're looking for VR news team members to keep it up to date. And there's also a part for the VR link where you can leave questions or comments, and we can always go through them on the next week's show. So let me introduce our regular host, Salsa from Salsa Ketchup VR.
Hello, people.
We've got two special guests this week. We've got Daniel Cosgrove, aka DX Falcon. He's in the community a lot from End Dreams.
That way.
He hasn't got his camera on at the moment.
Other way salsa.
How you doing,
Yeah.
Dan?
He does that.
Yeah, so that's Daniel. And then we've got guest host Vivian Chazen, who is a massive part of the VR community, founder of the VR show called The Hive, and she is team captain of the Coletto's esports team.
Yay. Yay.
Yeah.
More enthusiasm. Yay!
That's
oh,
it.
yeah.
So yeah, thanks all for joining, guys. How you doing in the chat? Thank you very much. Thank you for your patience, as I said earlier. Who have we got already? We've got German Mr. T703, Project 8 VR, Matt Hag, Neox. How you doing, guys? You alright? Stone Edwards, Jetpack Simulator.
That is a great name.
Those,
Yeah.
those
These
are
are some
onward
good
players.
usernames.
Nice. Durafen, Durban Brown, Kev Gret, Oni Kays. Nice. Thank you for hitting that bell and being here. Really appreciate that. All right, Buck. How's it going? VTids, Ham, Secrets of. Nice, guys. Oh, yeah. And so this week, Nat from 7 Degrees Gaming can't be with us because he's got basically real life work stuff going on. Unfortunately, we've got Bruno TNS. Yeah, so guys, thanks for being here. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about what Vivian does, because she was one of the first people that I sort of met when I started doing the VR thing. She's very busy on Twitter. Actually, she just seems very busy all the time in virtual reality. So yeah, let's talk a bit about you. Let's talk about the Hive first of all, because that was the first
Sure.
place I saw you. You was a presenter of that show, which is actually hosted in virtual reality.
Yeah. So in 2017, I won a contest for like who wants to be a talk show host, and I didn't intend on going because I was already doing presentations in VR. But you get a custom avatar in Altspace if you won, and then I won, and then I was like, oh my god, I have to do a show now. It comes with the avatar. So so I just did a show, like it was for fun, and it was a way to, I don't know, like get the community involved. And we did a lot of different productions, and it just kept going. You know, I was in VR chat for a while, and we go to Sansar, Facebook Spaces, a bunch of different places. Oh, when Facebook Spaces was around. But it's mostly in Altspace. And so that's been going on for quite a while now. We do special productions as well, not just talk shows. And we just announced our new host, Nava Berg. So she is the new host of The Hive, as
Nice.
I will be doing things with Respawn and doing more behind the scenes productions, and my other show, The Buzz. So congrats to Nava, who is the queen bee, as I like to say. And I'm really, really excited. She premieres this Thursday on the 13th.
Nice. So if anyone wanted to check out the Hive, how would you sell it? How would you say to someone what the Hive is about?
The Hive is when, I don't know, like, okay, think back to high school when you would do a lot of drugs. I'm kidding. I was told to behave. No, think back to like if like you've ever watched cartoons and you were like, what, I wonder what it'd be like to be a cartoon. You're like Roger Rabbit or something. That's what I always try to explain to people who don't know what VR. I'm like, just imagine you're in a cartoon show and everyone around you is a cartoon. It's like a really strange experience. But we tried to make it look like a talk show in real life, but it's in VR. So there'll be, there's a stage, there is room for the audience, but everyone's an avatar, and you put your headset on, you go into this world, and it's like you're on stage. It's a very weird experience. Like people who've been there, they go on and they watch, like we watched Bill Nye, that was there. That's like, it's really cool. He's there, but he's not there. Like Reggie Watts, and watch them perform. So it's a really weird, surreal experience to explain to people.
Yeah.
But once you experience it, you're like, oh wow, it's really cool and fun. I mean, it still amazes me, like you get to hang out with people around the world and in real time. So
I love that in VR anyway. Like you're saying, just being with people in virtual reality is pretty cool. And you got your own show as well, you were saying.
Oh, I do the Buzz, which is a on-camera show, and it's was started to talk with people behind the scenes of like esports teams. So I play Onward in VR Master League, and it's competitive VR sports. And the thing is that people have been playing together for a long time and never seen each other's faces. Some people don't even know each other's real names. So we did a show like this where they would get on, and it would be just a casual conversation. And we would just talk about the game, but also talk about who they are, what got them into it. And I do that on Wednesday nights. And this week is going to be CVRE, Maddie from CVRE, which is a collegiate sports organization. So they do college sports with VR. And then we'll have other guests on, like a guest from Brazil. He's going to talk about VR sports in Brazil. We'll have different teams on, casters. So it's just, getting to know people from doing things from behind the scenes.
How is the VR esports thing going? Because I keep seeing it getting bigger and bigger. Where is it now? What's going on in that space?
Well, it's a lot of really cool things going on. Actually, I'm a part of V Respawn. So if you see my jersey and everything, V Respawn was a kind of like the news outlet of VR esports. It's founded by Pooh Nanners, the great caster with the hair, and you see a lot of people in chat from V Respawn. Hey guys, and it's a group of people who like we do production. So we've actually pivoted and we do a lot more media and campaigns for people, but we focus a lot on competitive sports. So there's a lot of things happening, I keep saying behind the scenes and not to be punny, but there is a lot of stuff where we're trying to create tournaments. There's leagues that are popping up. People are playing competitively in arcades, but mostly it's for us at home. So we compete across the world. So right now I think there's 25 active teams in NA, our time zone, and then I don't know how many in the EU for Onward. But then there's Echo Arena, there's Contractors, Pavlov, and there's a whole bunch of different games, and the most popular being I think Onward and Echo, and I play Onward. So V Respawn covers a lot of that, and a lot of us that work at V Respawn are esports players.
Onward is still a game that I've yet to actually sink any decent time into. I know.
What?
I know, and
It's one of those. It's one of those things that same for me, because you have to sink so much time to be good at it,
You
or really
sink.
good at it.
I think enjoy and invest.
Oh no, enjoy and invest, and that is the thing. It's one of the things that I do for racing games as well,
Sure.
which also has that competitive edge. But for me to actually compete against anybody that I like playing with or racing, getting on a racetrack with, I have to do so much preparation.
Yes.
And it's going to be the same with you guys as well, that you need to gel as a team or whatever and be knowing exactly what you're at and what you're about. It's not like you can just turn up and suddenly be the best in the world.
How easy is it to get into esports?
It's very easy. You go online, you think of a team name, make up some kind of logo, boom.
Boom.
You're there. Now whether you're good is another thing. So yes, so the hours are a lot. We practice typically 15 to 20 hours a week. and
Serious.
it's for Onward itself. I can't speak for all the other games. I know in here we have a Kamikaze. She plays Pavlov, and she also worked with me at the Hive and Respawn. But she also plays a lot too. So it's hard because we're running production for shows, but we also all compete. And so it does take a lot of time, but not like you said, like getting to know your team. It's not like you could just jump in and just play with anybody.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like you really, like I give personality tests, you know, and we do interviews and sleepovers and try to get to know each other's intimate lives and
Make sure you know which flavor lollipops different people like.
exactly,
Cherry,
that
I
kind of
believe, is
stuff.
your favorite currently.
It is.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, there's that kind of stuff, but we also spend, you know, time chatting, but then we spend a lot of time talking about strategies, and then there's a lot of things about like the league itself, like because the Onward is part of Downpour Interactive, and they didn't create the game for League. It is a game for everybody, so everybody can play Onward. So they don't cater to the League. The League is like we built a league because we love the game.
Yeah.
So we play League because we love the game. So, but because of that, it doesn't always align with the same schedule. So we have to kind of like account for any changes that come with updates, and then how that plays into the league as well. But we play like 10 months on season throughout the year. Which I didn't
Sure.
realize. Yeah, so
it's a big commitment as well.
it is quite the commitment, and you know, if you know Onward, it's 5v5 PvP and military simulator type game, FPS, and you have 5 playing, but you can have 8 people on your team. So we have to kind of rotate players, but it helps
What
to
are they
cover.
like, subs? Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Well, yeah. So like a team of 8, you can have up to 8 people, but then there's also something called reservists. So for some people who kind of want to play, but they can't commit to a team, they'll play as a reservist. And we have a lot of people as reservists. So last minute, there's a technical issue or anything, you can call a reservist in. And although I do tell people, like, if you can try and join a team, if you want to play competitively, to go ahead and try for it, because as a reservist you can sign up, but it's rare that people will just say any reservist. You know, they'll want like specific reservists who've played in lobbies. So you have to kind of still get in there and know the community to get playing time.
Yeah. So, one more question, really. What got you into virtual reality? How come you've, come this far?
Oh yeah.
Or what was
Okay,
your first
so
experience?
well, my first experience was Tilt Brush. So I actually work with VR professionally in my day job too. So my day job, I work at a nonprofit for older adults, and I work with technology to help older adults kind of, I don't want to say like age, they help them age well, basically, because as you get older and you're done with work, you kind of like lose a lot of your identity, because we don't realize how much of our identity is built into our work. So and then what ends up happening is it's such a global world, people move away, your kids move away. So we work on different solutions to help people with loneliness and having social engagement, and VR is something that I use there as well as a part of like teaching new technology.
Yeah.
So I'm working on some research projects with our institute, and where we will use VR with our customers in different applications. My first one was Tilt Brush, and that is what we will be working on with our art therapy department.
That is awesome. That is really cool.
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah, man. So let's talk to Daniel. He is, I think you're the community manager, dude, is what I've got you down. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm the associate community manager at Endreams.
Nice, man. Nice. And unfortunately, for all efforts, his camera wasn't working today. So this is I think he is actually part of. That's what he does. That's him, I think, in that boat now, in that canoe, rowing away. So, man, tell me a bit about yourself, man. What got you into virtual reality? And
oh man. So my first VR experience was actually Phantom. I played it at my job interview in December 2018, like a really, really early version.
That is awesome.
And that kind of got the gears turning. Like from the second I played it for the first time, I was like, nah, this is awesome. This is like the future.
Yeah.
And from there, I've kind of just become obsessed. It's awesome.
Excellent, man. And that's so. How long have you been with End Dreams now, then?
What's the date? It's the 9th. I've been with End Dreams for a year in 2 days.
Excellent stuff. Excellent.
Year and 2 days, and the minutes. I was expecting minutes to come out at the end of that one.
Yeah, if you
Don't try and calculate it.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, man. So yeah, thank you to everyone who has come through today in the chat, and thank you to Vivian and Daniel for being part of the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
no worries,
Thanks.
man. No worries. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go through what has been going on this week in gaming and the VR news and stuff, and that should start with, hopefully this should work, the VR news introduction. Almost worked, but unfortunately,
There we go.
Daniel's image was still on
no.
top. As I put it, I've left it right at the top. Oh no! And it literally, I put it in the wrong place, but that'd do. Let me just get this next thing up as well because it'll be.
He loves that the news jingle, which of course we don't hear. We just have to wait for the screen.
Yeah, everyone loves that, man. Don't they? I thought everyone enjoyed it anyway.
I can't hear it, obviously.
It's got Metal Gear Solid.
I know.
I'm pretty sure that the
here we go. Anyhow, news. What we're doing.
News.
What we are at now. This is the big topic for this week, really.
Yeah, man. I couldn't.
A hard one.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it when I saw it. So in Korea, there was a TV documentary where a mother was reunited with a deceased child in virtuality. It's called Meeting You. And the documentary goes on to recreate a series of warm memories from Naeon's life. She basically uses an HTC Vive Pro, Vive trackers, and a wireless adapter. And Ji Sung revisits a virtual version of a park where the family would frequently meet. And yeah, so the idea is the mother and the child, I guess, get to experience happy memories together. For instance, I think they do a birthday party. They share sweets, they eat birthday cakes, all sorts of different things. But there is even apparently in this series, because I've only seen this one episode, is she puts her to bed for a nap.
Well, it's very chilling because she actually describes the child herself, describes how she's going cold and things like that in Korean.
Yeah, there was other bits as well. What I was reading was something about where the child answers back and gives like genuine conversation in some ways.
Yeah.
For example, apparently she told her father to stop smoking and her siblings not to fight so much. And it was one of those subjects when I saw it on Twitter. I didn't know how to react to it because I sort of thought, in one way, you think how amazing that is, like how amazing technology is to do that kind of thing. But on the other part of me, I'm like, would that just not bring that pain back so much? I'm not saying she would never get over it.
The whole premise was that her mother wasn't able to actually say goodbye to her.
Yeah, she died of an incurable disease. Yeah.
Yeah, she died,
and obviously quickly.
Yeah, and her mother wasn't actually able to be there when it was happening or something else like that.
Yeah, it's awful. It's awful. There's no, you know what I mean? You can't not feel something from this. But I think what got to me when I watched the video, because I thought, first when I read it, I thought, this is different. And then her hands go through her, and my heart sort of broke a bit. You know,
I think they go a bit on the edge there. I don't know if it's actually haptics that she's wearing in gloves, because obviously they've got a fully tracked hand presence and everything else like that. So I thought there was some haptics that are possibly going on with the gloves, and they've just misaligned some things here.
It looks like she's picking her up here in some weird way in the video. Or they're flying together.
Yeah,
they're flying.
This is supposed to be like a moving on section, and then it goes to this other part, so that basically the part where she said she was growing cold and leaving is this part here. The next part is supposed to be a part of her afterlife. So where she's going to rest. But you have to also take into account, I think there's a lot of things like we can say, and I can't say for myself or anybody else, I can't say for any person how a parent is going to feel about this for themselves in the first place. Certainly not a mother of any child where the child has died.
It's just it destroys
it's-
people, and it can destroy families. Because one day I turned up to pick a guy up from work, and his house had burnt down, and his youngest son had died in that fire. And it changed everything forever. There's no two ways about it, you know. I think it led ultimately to the couple splitting up. You know, just
yeah.
you know. So look, what we got? So what's people saying in the chat? How we
Well, I think it's obviously a lot of people have different thoughts on it. There's a lot of psychology that goes on it.
yeah.
The dependence of the individual in this. There's a cultural background here as well. You have to remember that life and death is viewed differently across different cultures.
Yeah.
So different people deal differently with life and death issues. I mean, for me, one of the things that it kind of reminds me about is, have you ever seen a death book?
No.
I've heard of them.
Back in Victorian era, they used to actually take pictures of the dead and collect them into books and different things like that, and there would be posed photos of the actual people that had died. So after death, and it was very, very strange and odd, and it was supposed to be a way for people to keep a living memory of the people that had gone before. But they are very, very odd and very, very creepy things to see.
I mean, in that time, it's they took photos because it was expensive to take photos, like to have a photographer come and take your photos. So when that happened, when, you know, someone in the family would pass away, they would do where they would, you know, dress up the deceased and pose with them for a family photo, because that would be the one time that they could do it. So it's one of those things, like if you've taken anthropology, it's like it's hard to like not be ethnocentric about things that to us are totally weird, but yeah, but it is different across cultures and how they view it.
Yeah, like obviously not knowing the cultural background of Korea, you know, like I say, I'm British through and through. This distinctly reminds me of a specific episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Except in that one, it's taken a step further. It's not in VR. It's almost like they clone them and put them into the real world, and it gets messy. Like, I don't like being the person who goes, "Lol, this is just Black Mirror," but it does feel uncomfortable in the way that that episode made me feel, if that makes sense.
But it's like what JD's wrote, and I did read this as well. She's very happy to experienced it, you know, and I get that. I just think at the same time in my mind, you've still got to eventually turn it off and come away from it. And
well, that's the point. Does it actually help her to move on, or does it hinder her? And that's the point that is very hard to deal with. Whether it's seen as right, wrong, or indifferent, that's, you know, from my standpoint, that's not for me to say. But I do sincerely hope that the experience has helped her move on from where she was.
Yeah. Like I say, I totally hope that whatever's happened here, this does help her get on with the grief and stuff. But it's not for me. I think that's what I'm trying to get across.
Yeah. Totally understand it.
Yeah. It's just it's pretty amazing, isn't it, that this is happening now?
It's sooner than I thought. I did think this was an inevitable step, though. I did think this was one of those things that would come along, but I didn't think it'd be this soon.
Yeah. So what sort of comments have we got in the chat? Because obviously, so yeah, Buck says,
This is going to be divisive.
TGK says, I'm not sure if that is a good way to heal. VR Basement says, I'm not sure about how to feel about it. I didn't. It's almost like there is positives and negatives to it in my mind, almost, or a nice thing, and then there's like this weird feeling of, oh, I don't know, it doesn't, I don't know, it's really hard. VT says, I think for some people it could bring closure, for others it would be a bad thing, depends on the individual. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, it helps preserve the memories. It seems more tragic to forget, says Skippy. JD says, until you're in that situation, we can never know. Yeah, it's very true. Yeah. What else have we
Yeah,
got?
but I mean, you do have the other side of this. I mean, this is done past someone going. That's the point. Because you do have photos that you take every day to remember people by. But even now, you have cameras like 360 cameras that we've got recorded and VR 360 cameras. You can record someone in everyday life, put a headset on and see them as they were alive.
Yeah.
This is just that this was made post someone dying that makes it rather extraordinary as an extraordinary, an extraordinary occurrence. I think that's a part of the issue as well of this type of content. But yeah,
There are people saying that I need a tissue. Yeah. After seeing this.
don't worry. It made me cry as well when I first watched it.
Well, so I'll just give a little bit of perspective since I know that I've talked about this a lot. If you watched my show last Monday, we had this discussion, and for those of you who went to OC6, this is actually kind of like reminiscent of a project that I'm actually working on. So it is definitely a personal, I guess, a personal journey and a personal experience. So I can totally see a lot of people saying it's would not be for them, because I can tell you, like, because since I was sick and had cancer and was going to die and everything, and had a really bad prognosis, it was very uncomfortable for people to hear that I was going to die. And I know I'm like laughing at it. It's like it's a very cultural thing for us to like laugh when we're like nervous, I guess.
Yeah, that's right.
Or something. But so the project that I'm working on actually, and with my team that's in the chat with me, is this AR experience. So when they told me my prognosis and that I would have maybe a year, I had to really quickly like write a will and plan my funeral and all that stuff. And there was this article I read about from this gentleman who, when he passed away, he left behind a map, and it was of all of his favorite places that he loved, and he invited people to go to sit at his favorite bench or go to his favorite coffee shop, that kind of thing. And I thought that was really lovely. But since I'm really into technology, I was trying to think of a way to kind of marry the two. So
Okay.
the idea that I pitched, so to speak, and it's won, but it's with Nreal. If you know Nreal, the AR glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're part of FXG, into the FXG event. So the product is a geolocated experience. So let's say I'm planning my my end of life, and I have my photos and videos of these different places. I would give it to I would take it as a service. So you give us your photos and memories, and we would augment them and overlay it into the place that it was. So let's say you went to Disneyland with your family, or to the Eiffel Tower or something, you have a photo with your family there. So it's you put the glasses on, and when you're in that exact location, the memory pops up. So it's that photo overlaid of the real environment or
Yeah.
that video. And in it is a message that is recorded. So it's all pre-recorded. And then you can leave a message back. And this is after life. So this was a way for like a journey for people to go, and see or experience these memories. And it's also a way for us to think about like people who maybe don't have anyone, you know, to remember them. Maybe they would want to leave it and you'd want to go experience the things that people like, their own memories. And if you chose to keep it public information, then over time, when you go to these different places, you would hear memories of everybody and in which way you would live kind of on forever in this way. But it was like your old memories, not something that you would go, you know, and make. So again, like that technology has been around and that ability has been around, and yeah, it's been explored in media, and we're seeing it now, and it just makes people very uncomfortable because people don't really want to talk about it, which is the hardest thing. So no, no, I'm kidding. And so I know people were asking me about it, and so it's a little bit like the project that we are working on right now. But I didn't watch the video actually because I don't know how I would feel about that, because it's kind of like a phantom, which is like a big fear of mine.
So this is
you
like,
know?
yeah, for me, it's almost like bringing someone back from the dead a little bit. And you know,
Yes.
it's not, it's you're not reliving a memory I mean, you are reliving a memory in a way, but you're also making new ones with someone who unfortunately isn't here anymore. You're not, and that's I think from hearing what you've just said is the bit that I think I found I'm uncomfortable with. It's not like you're going back to places and events and looking at photos and going, oh, I remember that, I remember that. This is almost like, okay, you're remembering the person. I get that. That's beautiful. That's awesome, and possibly priceless. But
It's a way to connect to the mentality of a person that has moved on, so their memory of how they feel in a place and things like that can also influence others. So you build up memories in that way. I think I can understand that in some other ways, but it's a very deep and hard topic, one that we're definitely not going to be able to go completely through.
I think the other thing is, well, it all depends on if you believe in
deep.
the afterlife.
Oh, that's a
Well,
deep question,
But I'm
GT.
just, you know, I'm
Yeah.
just saying, you know, there's religion and there's whether you believe
it
in
does.
that kind of thing, you know.
Yes.
So as you're saying, it's all about individuals. It's all about perspective
But
and belief.
it's you know, for those who are still here, it doesn't matter whether the person who's gone left believed in an afterlife or not. It's what the people who are living still remember of those who have gone before, or learn of the people that have gone before through other experiences. It's a very different way to go. But wow, yeah, I think this is the most deep and somber topic we've ever actually had.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
it was a hard one when to talk about it, because you can't help but feel the weight of it when you're talking about it. So
Yep.
thank you ever so much for the donation, German Rifter Man. Take care. I understand what you're feeling about the storm, because yeah, we've had loads of fences blown down, and
Been hit hard here, aye.
yeah, it's pretty crazy, the storm. So sorry, Vivian, you was going to say something. Thank you, by the way.
Oh no, I was
Oh.
just reading the comments here, and it actually kind of already happened. I don't know if you guys recall when they did the concert with Tupac, and it was like a hologram of him. Yeah. So I think it's like people had the same opinions then too, that it's like it's not really them, or is it? And again, a lot of people are saying like you wouldn't know unless you experienced it, which is very true. You could definitely have a different change of heart depending on your circumstances. I think the most important thing is that we don't say yay or nay, because it's not up to us. That like if this is something that somebody is doing and other people want to use it, I mean, they could or could not. I mean, we still die and we still don't have a way to properly address it, other than a lot of us just pretending like it's not going to happen. So this is just like another option of many things that we do, like wanting to be planted when we die, or you know, or our bodies into a diamond, and there's a lot of different ways that people kind of deal with it. You know, there's like even some people who have their bodies posed, you know, for their funeral,
Yeah.
in different stances. So it's just like one of those things that I see like a lot of people saying, and people have different reactions. Even when I was talking about the application I was making, some people told me like, well, that's really morbid and really sad to think about, while other people, like my best friend who recently lost her father, and another coworker who said her best friend just lost her boyfriend, they had a different reaction to it because it just happened to them, and when it
Yeah.
happens to you, you feel different things. So more important that we think like, okay, this technology is here, but like try not to be like warriors of something we don't understand.
I think VR bug, yeah, like you're saying, everyone grieves differently. And that's the thing. See, I know how I grieve because I've lost some people that I love dearly, and it makes me go numb. And I find that hard to think about them afterwards for a long time, which is horrible because, in a way, you want to think about them, but I know I'll be so emotionally compromised I won't be able to maybe do my job properly, which is quite safety critical, and some other bits. So, and it sounds like I'm not dealing with it, which is probably what it is, but it's almost that, or like just continuously be upset. So it's like, you know, you have to sort of open it up, get upset for a little while, put it away, and go, right, crack on. And I just don't know. That's what I mean. When I saw this, I was like, I think I didn't.
Well,
Honestly, what I wrote on my Twitter was, I don't know how to feel, and I'm still the same. I don't know how to feel about it.
It's a tough one. Someone else brought up a particular thing that we already in some games have NPCs of people who have died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do it in films, don't they? Famous actors now look fantastically real.
Yeah, but we already have in video games this. We do already have people who did voices and different things for NPCs and tributes to different people who have died that have been put into games.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, mentioned, speaking of movies and stuff, I haven't really felt uncomfortable with anything like that in film at all until Carrie Fisher in the late Star Wars.
Oh, right, okay.
That
is who I thought of actually when I just said that as well, by the way.
Yeah, I kind of was like, I'm not sure that you should be doing that. But again, I think it's not something that we should be able to arbitrate or whatever. It should, like Vivian said so excellently earlier, it is entirely down to each person and how each person deals with stuff. And I think that, like I say, it's something that we shouldn't decide on.
Yeah. Weboz says, I have a friend's wife died from cancer. Two of her children won't know her, and would be a good way to have interaction for them later in life, but it's not their thing. So yeah, completely subjective. I guess the best thing to know is that if you wanted this to happen, it's there. It's possible. The technology's coming, or it's here now, and it's only going to obviously become probably part of everyone's life eventually, because as we all know, virtuality is growing. It's becoming more popular. Once you experience virtuality and step into those other worlds and environments, it's all very realistic. It's all very different to playing a game as normal or watching a film or anything like that. And seeing this is a very stern reminder of that to me, that virtuality is the technology, the method they use to deliver such a, well, it's a respectful and important thing to someone. It's yeah.
I think we need to move on to slightly more happier fields, perhaps.
Well, we can try.
We can try.
But yeah,
I think that's definitely a like I say, it's such a deep subject. I think we should definitely move on to something a little less deep.
Yeah. Thanks for all your comments, by the way, guys, and being respectful of one another's comments as well. I love that. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, Oculus Quest got update 13, which now, out of all the things I sort of saw, a couple of things I think have been broken, by all accounts, or changed. So, Salsa, I made a video the other day on an Oculus Link cable I picked up from GoQuest VR, which is lighter than the official cable. It's the same length, and it's only $28. But at the same time, I also made a video on how to increase your resolution of your Quest when using the link. And apparently that's now changed, Salsa. So can you shed a bit of light on that at all?
Oh yeah, basically the latest update changes one of the numbers that you can place in. You could basically change the resolution that it was encoding out to the Quest app, and they've dropped that number down. And if you don't drop the number down that you alter to make the image better to below this number, which I've forgotten what it is, you can't actually get the headset to boot up properly with the link.
Right.
So if you have, I think it's 2048.
I think the numbers
48.
yeah.
I've got my notes here somewhere. I've got it in my notes and I didn't read my notes.
The Salsa.
Yeah, 248 max is what you need to put in the debug tool.
Yeah.
It's basically, that is the max resolution that NVIDIA's encoder can actually encode to under what they're doing with the, the encoder that they're using, the type they're using, which uses like a H.264 or whatever in the link. So it's the max that it can do there. And they've forced that to happen, but if you don't put that number in, you will just see 3 dots continuously and nothing will happen.
Is
So
there any,
if you have
is there any other
done that
issues
hack,
actually with the link cable working? Because some people message me saying the link cable isn't working at all at the moment.
well, they think it's not. It's because they probably just have 3 little dots, or they haven't got an update on one side. They've got an update
Oh,
on one
right,
side,
yeah.
but don't have the update on the other.
Yeah.
But if they've updated on both, and they have done this resolution tweak, and their number is higher than 2048, all they will see is 3 white dots when they try, the 3 or 4 dots
Yeah.
on their screen while they try to actually get the link to work.
Yeah.
So you have to change that.
One of the other things as well is now with the Oculus Quest, you can it will automatically switch to hand tracking. All you got to do is make sure that your controllers are away from the camera, bring your hands back into focus, and then that'll work. Have you experienced the hand tracking, guys?
I haven't done that yet.
I
Yeah?
have, yes.
What do you think of it?
It's awesome.
It is awesome.
It's great to see. I'm not sure how practical it'll be, given from my experience using it in beta over Christmas, there were, unless you were in perfect light conditions, it was a bit.
It's a little bit
Hit and miss?
miss
Hit
over
and miss.
and over.
That's it. There you go.
Yeah.
However, it's brilliant tech. Absolutely love it when it works.
Yeah, for sure. And I think this update, I used it. It was definitely a little bit less glitchy, I think, personally. So yeah, I mean, it picks up everything really, really well. And yeah, that was pretty cool. The other thing is a new game, a new VR platform and adventure game from Monologic Games named Ven is on its way. The second quarter of 2020, and it's coming to PC VR and PSVR, which is pretty cool. And it actually looks really good. I literally reached out as soon as I saw this because I still remember the conversation of people telling me that a third-person camera doesn't work well in virtual reality, and I think that's crap. I think any game.
It's great fun.
I think any game pretty much looks good in virtual reality, and platforming games are really good. Like as we've seen, Astrobot, Lucky's Tale, and things like that. So yeah, I mean, I love a platformer personally. So
yeah, I mean, it's this game and Moss and Lucky's Tale, like you said. There's quite a few that are sort of like coming out there that actually do, or have been out that have proved that this format can work.
I think it's excellent.
And I think that more should do it, actually.
Yeah.
I think there's so many games as well. We've always said about different past games as well. I would love to play Ratchet and Clank like that.
I was literally just about to say this looks just like Ratchet and Clank, and I'm 100% on board with it.
The actual character does kind of look like Ratchet as well, a little bit.
Well, he looks like a mix between Ratchet and
Ty.
Oh, no, Oh.
Who am I thinking of?
Do you know what I really like? The games that I think of that I'd love to see is Crash Bandicoot and
Yeah.
Jack and Daxter. I was obsessed with
That's
Jack and
who I was
Daxter.
thinking.
Daxter.
Jack
Thought
and
you were.
Daxter.
Yeah, I thought you. I mean, I really enjoyed that.
I haven't tried
Have you-
Moss yet. I feel bad.
Very good.
Oh,
what's
you've
his
I
got
highly
to.
recommend that.
Yeah, she's lovely.
Yeah.
Little Mouse Quill, she's awesome.
Yeah,
I
I've
mean-
seen the videos and I want to try. Yeah, it's cute.
It's also good the way you
I've
can
been-
you can interact with the game as well. So you'll be sitting there, be like a puzzle game, and you're like
Yes, I love puzzle games.
you're like a phantom in there with her on her adventure, and you can like interact with the level, move stuff for her, and yeah, you should check it out.
And
Yeah,
you
I
can
don't-
do what couples there.
I haven't. I don't know that I've tried a lot of them. I'm thinking of maybe. Have you guys played the Puzzle Room? It's like
Puzzle
because
Room.
you can play that in 2D. I think it's called the Puzzle Room. It's in 2D, but you can also play in VR. But it's just a series of rooms, and you move the little girl around.
Oh,
Labyrinth.
Labyrinth.
No, no,
The
no.
latest
You
one.
never forget playing Labyrinth. Jesus,
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
no.
scary.
that was
It's,
crazy.
Let me see.
Is it
games
called The
that
Last
are-
Labyrinth though? It's called The Last Labyrinth, isn't it?
Last Labyrinth, yeah. With
Games
the
that-
music and the stuff there.
Games that are like that are coming out though. Alice, can't wait for that. What's it called? Down the rabbit hole.
Oh yeah, I've played that at Gamescom.
Oh, ooh.
Was it I think it was through the rabbit hole.
No, it is called Down the Rabbit Hole.
Down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, sorry,
okay.
Vivian.
Through the looking glass. I'm thinking of through the looking glass. Yeah.
What's up? Have you got your game? Did you find the game?
Oh, yeah.
The
I
escape
was
room.
looking and I gave up. Yeah, it's not the there's the escape room, but so what is it called? It's like
Another thing with a room, and you've got to get someone out, or
maybe
something
yes,
like
that one. Maybe it's called Rooms. It's a really cute
Mm.
game.
I was actually offered a game. It's they got a series on Steam, and they're VR
Yes.
escape rooms, and it's up
Yes,
to
it's
6
called
people.
Rooms.
It's called Rooms.
Rooms, the unsolvable puzzle.
I'm pretty sure I've played that, or I've heard
I
of it.
played it in VR, but it's a little scary, and I don't like scary things.
You don't like scary
so-
VR?
I don't know. There
You
is
have-
a video out there floating in the world of me being scared.
Have you played Resident Evil
My friends,
7?
my friends put me in a bunch of different VR, all the scary VR experiences to see how far I could get, and I cannot make it past like the opening credits in a lot of them.
So,
I
Wow.
buried the video, but it might be out there. I don't know.
on the
Wow,
subject of scary
wow.
VR, the one thing I'm hoping gets VR support when it eventually comes out, Resident Evil 8. Resi 7
Oh,
in VR
man,
is a
yeah.
perfect game.
Have they said it's in first person as well?
No, there's nothing
No.
properly announced of it.
No.
I
Yeah,
presume
nothing
they're all in on
properly.
Resi
Everyone's
3.
just jumped and gone, Resident Evil 8, hopefully VR. If it's in first person, I've seen it all come up, and I'm like, there's nothing to give us any hope at all, apart from just pure faith, like
Yeah.
blind faith. Like, please.
I do have to say though, the kitchen demo. The first time I tried the kitchen demo, I couldn't go all the way through the kitchen demo.
Really?
No, I couldn't. The first time I tried the kitchen demo, that just made me feel some real fear, and I was like, nope, not doing it. Get it out of there. Took the headset off before she came back to get me.
Yeah.
So
I'm
I-
looking
I
at
was like,
Vivian's face. It's like lots of different emotions going on while we're talking about it. It's quite interesting to
should
watch.
be your Halloween challenge, Vivian. Play Resi 7.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love Halloween. I don't know why. I just don't like to be scared. I
It's
don't
tough
even
in
wanna talk
virtual reality,
about
man.
it.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Like I'll play Onward with you, but that's not scary. It's like a puzzle.
Oh, I think it's scary for your opponents.
Sure.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean,
the
I know-
adrenaline's
I know-
running, but
I know Buck was in the chat earlier saying I wouldn't want to play against her, and he is ex-military.
oh
Jeez.
There you go.
yeah.
So
Don't give me too much credit. So what? Oh no. Okay. No. he
Excellent.
was
So,
just credit on YouTube.
Where are we now? Next up, Crisis V Brigade gets 3-player co-op on PC VR. It is coming to PSVR soon, and I don't know if there's any talk about this coming to the Quest version, which you can download on SideQuest. This is an absolutely brilliant game. It reminds a lot of people of Time Crisis. Cell shaded graphics, tough in places. It's a very tough game, but yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. I think on all platforms. And yeah, I'd love to check this out in 3-player co-op, man. I can't actually imagine how that would play, and whether you actually help each other, or I don't know.
Well, I presume you could have it, no, because otherwise it becomes a multiplayer, doesn't it? So I think it should be a straight up co-op. And like you say, I mean, that'd be ideal as Time Crisis, two or 3-person co-op team moving through the building.
Man, I'll tell you
That'd
what,
be
I'd
great.
need help in this game, honestly, because it is.
Well, yeah.
It kind of looks like Onward meets Rec Room.
Yeah,
Moving.
cell
Yeah.
shaded graphics, yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of. I think you kind of get a good mix there because it does have that cartoony aspect to it, but the gameplay is very much old school Time Crisis. Hide behind cover, get up, shoot, move.
Yeah.
I have a confession to make.
Okay, is it okay for everyone to hear? That's
No,
what
yeah.
CTRL flirt. I'm like,
No, I have a confession. I'm not really a gamer.
what?
Yeah.
Kick her from the Call of Duty.
Her screen
What are you
goes
doing?
blank.
I mean, I played games growing up here and there, but like
Oh,
coming
no,
into like the gaming community is very recent for me.
Mm.
So
There's a lot of
Yeah.
missing back catalog.
yeah, well, I mean, there's just like a lot of things I probably won't try. Like I probably won't do scary games.
Yeah.
I don't play FPS games except for Onward. Like when GT was talking about games, like the only games I do play is I play Onward, and I'll play some other games here and there, or games that are like my clients' games, you know. So like Pistol Whip, O Shape, and Synth Riders.
Oh
like those, like,
man, I
like
love
we played
Pistol
all of
Whip.
those. Yeah. So
I love Pistol
yeah,
Whip.
so it's all been a new experience for me, which is very weird and strange and interesting. So the conversations that I find that gamers talk about is I come from a very different perspective, so it's just very interesting to hear. But sometimes I do have to confess, I'm like, I know games because they, like, I'll play a game if they're a guest on my show, or I play games because it's something that I'll use in a research project that I'm doing,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah. So I'm really excited for some of these games. I'm very curious, but I wouldn't say like, oh, remember when? And I have no intention of playing Resident Evil.
So you would
But
say
hats off to
virtuality is more to you like a technology for applications so much, and the gaming has come secondary to that, and you've discovered that through that.
Yeah. So basically I started VR because of work and using it for applications,
Yeah.
which, you know, you had originally asked me to be on the show because someone was asking about like, oh, are there any girls that play games? Well, there's a lot of girls. And in fact, we had a women's like meeting episode and last Monday, which was like 10 of us on a Zoom call, just like this.
Yeah.
And yeah, we were just talking about all the things that we do, and none of us started out as gamers. There was just me and Cammie that actually play competitively.
Yeah.
But you see, I'm very extreme. See, it's like I don't play games, I just do applications. But oh, you want me to play a game? Okay, but let's compete. So there's not much in between. But yeah, I started competing because it helped me with when post chemo and going through like cancer treatments and everything. So that's when the gaming aspect kind of like came into it. And then I just really loved it because it's like such a great ecosystem for developers, gamers, media people, writers, shoutcasters. So there's so many things for people to do. So that's why I'm helping to build that ecosystem so that there's a lot of opportunities for people to be a part of VR and work in it.
Nice.
So I'm kind of backlogging, going and playing some games, like, you know,
Super.
I
aside from
totally
like
understand that though as well.
yeah, I'm a big board gamer though. I play a lot of board games. fight me.
Oh, okay.
But-
You and Nervenstein would get on great. Which is a lady on the channel, and again, she's got her own channel as well, and she does board game reviews, and she does like a video in her house or something, and it's crazy. There is board games everywhere. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely mental.
Oh.
So I'll have to
Oh,
link you to
yeah.
her channel. It's crazy.
Yeah, I love board games.
Donation alert here.
Yay.
Oh, thank you, Oculus Quest Fun. Thank you very much, sir. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
You got cold yogurt. What's your VR headset? I have all of us on the Colettos use the index because it was your Coletto, you get an index, and
Wow, nice.
And
Nice.
so we have that. But I also have like the Vive, the Quest, the Rift, the CV1, Samsung Odyssey.
If you're in the Colettos, you have to have a Vive Index.
No.
Valve Index,
You don't
sorry.
have to have one. You
Yeah.
get one.
Oh, you get one.
Get one.
Yeah.
I might join.
GT's he's asking where can he sign up?
Yeah.
The one.
He wants to sign up. He wants to sign up. But
I need to
you
get
know,
better. I need to get better at the games, I think, before I do that.
Yeah, I'm actually like I'm really. We have a new roster that I think it's like the perfect roster right now. It's we all gel really well together. They've been doing really well. I haven't been able to play because I've been doing so many these other things. So I do more of like the captaining stuff, helping them with the plays, making sure we have practice, setting the games, yelling at them after the games, that kind of stuff. So.
Nice. Cool, man. Cool. Where are we now? So, if anyone didn't see, recently this week we done a video. What did I do this week? What did I do this week? Because I was quite ill. I done a video on Iron Lights, which is coming to Quest and PC. I think it's Oculus, and it's going to be like cross-buy and stuff. But they don't know if it's coming to the Quest yet, as far as I am aware. But that is the version I played. And one of the best things about it, not just the combat stuff, the mechanics, is the fact that at the end of the game, you could turn your replay into like a GIF or a video and send it and stuff. That was really cool. And the other bit of news is they have surpassed their Kickstarter goal. So yeah, that is happening, and it's coming to Quest, Rift, and Steam VR headsets. Multiplayer game, and they want cross-platform in there as well. So yeah, a lot going for it. A lot of people are interested in it. And as I said, as he said actually with the developer, he wanted that, how can I put it, that weapon-based combat, but not just like in virtuality where you just flick around, whoever flicks around the fastest wins. You go into slow-mo, you take turns, it's almost like a turn-based slow-mo combat system. Definitely check it out. I thought it was really good. Has anyone seen this?
I have seen it. I was kind of like looking at going, because I haven't played it. You've played it, haven't you, GT?
Yeah, I've done an interview with the developer as well. Yeah.
It looks different on screen than people's describing it. People who've been playing it have been describing it far better than how it appears on the screen.
I said that to him as well. I said to him, the trailer doesn't do it any justice.
Yeah, a lot of people have commented that way. And again, this has got some very new things in it, like the local co-op. So if you're on a local network with, say, quests, it will hook the two quests up on the local network. So there is like zero latency.
Mm-hmm.
If you're talking about, since Vivian's here, if you're talking about an esports side of things,
yeah,
where you get something that has the zero latency on the same network thing happening, that really does work for an esports setup. So
yeah, for sure.
to have that built into a game where it goes, oh, you're on the same network, okay, we'll make sure that you can connect those up and have that with the lowest latency possible.
There's a lot
That's
of thought gone
really
into this.
smart working.
There's a lot of thought gone into this. Oculus Question, thank you ever so much for the other donation, and that is straight to Vivian saying, and this is for making it through the chemotherapy. You rock, girl.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, that is cool, man. That is cool. Thank you.
This is a really cool game. I've not heard of this. This looks really.
It's brand new. It's not even out yet. Basically.
Yeah, it's on Kickstarter at the moment.
Yeah.
I
the
see.
Kickstarter closes very, very soon. I shall put a link to their
Try and
Kickstarter
find
That's
some info
awesome.
on that.
And like
in.
I'm trying to see like their controllers, but it looks like something that you might want to use like a Pro Tube attachment for, because you know they have the one for Quest for Beat Saber. If you want to use the one-handed
hmm
one,
They do have like two-handed, dual wield stuff. It also works in phases, so you
Yeah.
can see there's little shields. I don't know if you noticed the shields,
yeah.
but it kind of works in phases. So when you're attacking, it's only you can attack and the other person has to defend,
Yep.
and vice versa. So you can only have one person attacking up close at the time, and it kind of moves in slow motion at that time. So it looks
Mhm.
quite fast, but you actually have to move in slow motion. It's not a thing of waggling something around and you're going to get a million hits. It's a case of
Yeah.
have to
Oh,
parry
that's
stuff.
interesting.
What was
So
what was the boxing game from Servios?
Creed.
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 That was a waggle fest.
Yeah.
That was like you could win a fight just by flinching loads and loads and loads. And this literally puts a stop to it. So the class in this game, you haven't seen the video, feel free to check it out. You've got the Knight, which is a two-handed great sword, a Duelist, which is a rapier and a buckler, a Monk, which is a staff, a Ninja, which is dual katars, and a Crusader, which is a flail and a shield. The Crusader, for me, was definitely the best, which is the one you're seeing there on the right. I absolutely loved that, man. That was awesome. It's a really good game. Really good game.
All right, can you clarify if you said it's on Kickstarter? Is it that they want to be on the quests, or they're making it for the quest, or is it
They're
gonna be on
making it
multi-platform?
multi-format, so Quest
Okay.
and PC for Oculus and Steam.
Okay, that's cool. So that like this is the type of stuff that that we would do. So if you're a game developer or you work with specific games where you're looking for competitors, this is something we do at V-Respawn, where we do take a lot of game demos and we try it out with our competitors. And then we also have mixed reality experts, so we also try and see how the game looks and feels and how we can best display it. And because we also have casters, would talk about how you would cast the game to an audience. So this game looks really cool, especially because if you're saying one is attacking, one's defending, then you're gonna talk about like, okay, here's his move and what he's going to do.
The other good thing about this is actually the Quest version that it's running from. So these graphics are coming out of the Quest.
Mate, when you see it in
That's
the
very
headset, it
impressive on
is
Quest.
awesome. It is so
Yeah,
good.
I bet.
I couldn't believe it when I loaded it up, and just how vivid everything is, and the reflections, like, and the light. And when you enter the Colosseum, when I saw the trailer for this, I thought it looks pretty cool because it sounds different and it looks a bit different. When you get into that arena, dude, it's like, wow, this is cool.
Another thing actually for the esports stuff is all the replays can be saved from this.
Yeah.
You can then actually go around the replay afterwards and make a direct GIF of your replay as well as saving the replay off.
Yeah,
so you can, it uploads straight to a GIF service where you can get instant GIFs of the action as it's happening.
Yeah, I like the neon iron lights. You know, get some pink in there. And give us a call. We'd love to play your game.
Get some pink in there.
Really...
I'd hurt my head doing that, which she does all the time.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Because we're, I don't know if you guys got to try out Smush TV, but they're coming out soon, and they have, it's like a game like this too, where you would co-op, except it's asymmetrical. One person would be in VR and the other person is on desktop. So I'm really looking forward to these types of games coming out where people can, like, it's just the play is very cool.
Yeah, I hadn't actually seen much of this until I saw GT streaming it the other week, and I am very excited for this now. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's honestly so much deeper than the trailer does. To be fair, the trailer hardly does anything to hype you for this game, unfortunately. It is actually, I think it's me and F Reality are the two videos I personally know of that where you can watch... Render Reality and me are the only two videos I know of you can watch and listen to the developer tell you information about this game while we're playing it. We checked out a lot of the characters. And he will explain the energy, the ability that you can lose health to gain more energy, so then you can do your attack stance before the next person gets a chance to do the defend. There's so much thought that's gone into this. And
Didn't Zimtok as well? Zimtok played this with his wife live on the stream to decide who was the boss of the house.
Who was the
Like,
boss of the
you
house?
didn't need a game for that. Come on.
Let's put it this way: Zimtok didn't
wish.
win.
He didn't win.
He lost.
He didn't want to
lost.
win. He
got
wants to
trounced.
be the, he wants her in charge. He wants a
That's
good
the man of
woman in
the
charge.
house.
Yeah.
That's it, man. Okay, so so that's Iron Lights. I can't remember if the developer said it has been confirmed on the Quest. In other words, have Oculus said yes, it's coming? But it does say coming to Quest Rift and Steam VR, so I must be thinking of something completely different. So they
Well,
and
yeah,
the Quest
we do
version
know,
is the one I
obviously.
played.
Yeah, we do obviously know that Quest can be difficult.
It can
as
be
a
difficult.
process.
Some fantastic games have been missed on the Quest, but Side Quest is there to put it right. So there's some good stuff there. Another bit of news. This comes from Upload. The PSVR lack of releases in January 2020 sees Beat Saber sit at the #1 spot in the EU and NA region stores. So just to go through the 2 top 10s. In the US it was Beat Saber, Super Hot, Job Simulator, Arizona Sunshine, Surgeon Simulator was at #5. I was like, really? I mean, that is a funny game. It is a funny game. Like, when I played it and streamed it, it was hilarious,
Yeah.
actually. But just coming out of nowhere, I was like, really, that? I don't know if it was on sale at all. Creed, Doom VFR, The Elder Scrolls, Skyrim, Vacation Simulator, and Drunken Bar Fight. So that was the US top 10. In the EU, you got Beat Saber, Blood and Truth. That's what I mean. I can't believe Blood and Truth isn't in that top 10. I was really expecting that. Because a lot of new people come to PSVR over Christmas as well. Apparently they sold really well. Job Simulator, Super Hot, Creed, Astrobot, Arizona Sunshine, Skyrim, Farpoint, and Doom. Now that top 10 in the EU, I am from the EU, sounds more like what I'd expect.
Did you do the first one first or the last one?
Yeah, the first one first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I went from 1 to 10.
I thought that would be the reverse. Okay. Now I'm on board. If that was the way round, if it was 10 to 1, then I'd be like, what? Really?
No, yeah.
But since it's the other way around, yeah, I can be on board with that.
Well, it kind of makes sense why a lot of them are in the top 10, especially over January. There are a few of them that I remember seeing on sale over Christmas.
Right.
Like Surgeon Simulator in particular, I'm pretty sure that was on sale. Same with Arizona Sunshine. I think that was on sale across all platforms.
But it's one of those things, isn't it, where like a lot of people are asking, where are the games for PSVR at the moment? You know, it's just the thing that comes up in conversation. But they are coming, you know what I mean? I think it's going to be a slow year for PSVR games terms, but there's some big hits still coming. Obviously, a lot of people still looking forward to Pistol Whip, and you got every right to look forward to that game. It's going to be mental. I think it's going to sit really well on PlayStation. You know, what else have we got? You got Sniper Elite, Iron Man.
If it was Pistol Whip as well, we've got the new track that was out this week, Akuma.
Yeah.
And also there was an announcement that they are bringing out a new track each month on the lead up to E3.
Oh, wow.
So expect one new track, one new scene, because the track's actually called Scenes with Pistol Whip. So one of those every month until E3.
That's pretty cool.
I'm all on board with that.
Did you guys see our Pistol Whip event when it launched?
I think I did.
Oh.
Yeah, it was
when you live stream though, when you go live, it's like 2 a.m. for me.
Yeah.
So it's like I was in bed like watching it, like just press the like and watch as much as possible.
It was weird. So we had as all things we like to do at the Hive, what we did was our respawn team, our stream team, challenged the devs of Pistol Whip.
That's cool.
To a competition. So it was a streamed competition with our casters, and we did a split screen, and it was our streamers on one side and their dev team on one side. It was a live cast, but we streamed that live cast into Altspace. And then people went into Allspace where we branded the room with the Pistol Whip posters. And we also had the devs there. So we interviewed them. And then they got out of their Quest headset and competed against our team. And let me tell you, Pesky Cashew from V Respawn almost beat them. And they were like, how? Because we just played it up like, let's be cocky and challenge the devs at their own game. But, you know, I'm going to say like,
they're good at it then, obviously. They're good at their own game.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Goes without saying.
Yeah, and yep, a dev challenge. That's what we did. And
that sounds cool.
It was a lot of fun because there was, I think, for that event, we had over 200 people come into that event in Allspace. So we had people watching the stream, but 200 people put their headset on, came into our live event, and to talk with the developers of Pistol Whip and watch the competition live. So it's very meta.
That's very good.
That is fantastic.
Really cool.
That's really good to hear. Yeah.
We didn't all lose. Pesky Cashew almost won. Do you know we were playing for a week and we almost beat their lead developer.
I just want to say I did think, oh, they all lost. That's a shame. I'm just surprised.
Hey, we're proud.
It's okay. Some lost harder than others.
Some didn't even play.
But that Pistol Whip is a very hard game to master, which makes it awesome. And Salsa actually sent me some tips on how to get a better score, because I always thought headshots mattered in that game, and apparently I was really wrong. It's not headshots at all, is it?
Well, no, it's about your timing, and you can get center body, but it's also if you it's with the multi-hit ones. The multi-hit ones, if you try and multi-hit them all the time, you're not getting the max score. If you just whip them, you will always get the max score.
Yeah.
So regardless of when you hit them, you get max score, and that will be one thing. That's the one thing where your score was ending up a little lower. But I'm terrible at the game. But
you know how to win.
You know the theory.
You just can't win. Yeah, that'd be so frustrating for me.
But I couldn't really do it too well. I need to practice more, and unfortunately, some of my gaming spaces I couldn't actually play through all the levels because I would be hitting through a wall.
Gotcha.
Well, I would actually have to walk through the wall, the real life physical wall, to be able to go through the whole level. So that could be a little bit off-putting sometimes. But hey.
Those people asking, and I don't know if you've seen this or not, but Ghost Giant, if you remember that, I've played it on PlayStation. I don't know, have you guys experienced Ghost Giant at all?
I have yet to, but it is one of my most anticipated to try on Quest. I'm very excited for that one.
He's a
you
very...
said ghosts. Sounds scary.
It's not.
No,
you are the ghost.
No.
You are the giant
ghost.
Yeah.
You are the giant ghost, and you're a friendly ghost.
But first of all, he's scared of you, the character.
Yeah, the character's scared of you, so it's the other way around.
Yeah.
So it's like dating. It's great.
Okay. Yeah. So so Ghost Giant on the Quest is coming February 20th from Zoink Games. Ghost Giant remains. This is from Uploaders. It remains one of their favourite VR games. It's a narrative-driven experience in which you embody the imaginary friend of a young boy named Lewis. What starts out as a quaint, whimsical adventure soon revels into a darker, more mature turn that tackles a tough subject from a refreshing angle, and that is how I remember it. It gets to quite a deep game. It's about his mum, isn't it?
Though.
It's about his mum.
It is so cute.
Yeah,
it's really good.
It is absolutely beautiful. It's wonderful, wonderful game. It does have a nice narrative. It's very emotional. It's very connected. Highly recommended.
It looks like a Pixar movie.
Yeah, so for the entire thing feels like everything's made out of like paper that's just animating, like paper models that are animating. Yeah. The entire world looks like it's made out of like complex origami or something. It's amazing.
Yeah, it looks great.
The whole aesthetic is absolutely incredible. I'm, like I say, properly excited for that. Does anyone know if that's coming to PC VR at any point?
Yeah,
Or is
that'd
it
be
just
great.
Quest and Rift and PS?
I'm not sure. It's on PlayStation VR. Is it not on Oculus or Steam?
I've not been able
It
to find
doesn't
it,
say
if it is.
that, no.
No.
Oh, I was quite surprised because when this came out, I was just on PlayStation VR, I believe. I can't remember.
It was PlayStation
cry, it's
exclusive
so
at the
cute.
time. But it's a wonderful, wonderful little game. Great sort of puzzle elements. Like I say, it's had a lot of direction from some award-winning writers, and it just all works really well.
And if you want to know, sorry.
Oh, I don't have a PSVR. I want to. This is exactly why I got a boyfriend that has one. That was on my application for boyfriends. I was like, "Do you have?" I don't.
Well, it's okay because you've got a Quest, yeah, and it's going to come to the Quest. So
that's so cute.
If you want to know some more about this game after this stream, if you jump in our Discord, I actually did an interview with a developer about this. And yeah, it was back when the channel was smaller and developers were always like wanting to chat about their games and stuff. So yeah, I will send you a link to that video in our Discord if you want to know more about it. And
the one thing from looking at the gameplay of Ghost Giant, that looks like it would be an incredible candidate for Quest's hand tracking.
Yes,
yeah,
it would be perfect for it. In fact,
yeah, it would. Yeah, it would.
Because all you need to do, you do literally reach out and grab things and move them.
Which is the key mechanic of the of Quest hand tracking, of course.
Yeah,
and of your hands in general.
You got me.
Yeah,
there.
We're all reaching out and grabbing. We're all reaching out and grabbing stuff.
We are all reaching out and grabbing stuff.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So yeah, I'll just put that interview in the Discord. It's in the chat and chill area. I didn't put it in the content area. If anyone wants to know more about that. But yeah, I'm glad everyone's looking forward to it because it is quite a heartwarming.
It's really is very nice. Just completely charming.
Did we have any questions in Discord this week, Souse?
We do.
Excellent. Vivian, is that the same Wowie Pop from earlier, or is it a different one?
No, it's the same. They're really big.
Oh, right.
You've been having that since the pre-show.
She was furiously sucking on that lollipop before we went live.
I wouldn't say furiously. I was just like, when's the show starting?
Oh dear, here comes the no context clips.
Oh dear. Yeah, that's really going to be awful. Anyhow, going back to questions. So
we did put Jesus.
Oh no. Okay, so we've got a couple of questions, and I thought it was going to come up earlier as well. It's actually about PlayStation Plus and 3 monthly games, because people are wondering, since we've got a bit of a lull in the games that are releasing, do we think we're going to see more free monthly games for the PSVR? Which I think would be especially good for people that are new to PSVR, picked up over the Christmas period, and aren't seeing the push of newer games at the moment because it's a little bit dry, which means this time of year is usually a little bit dry for releases anyway.
Yeah.
But
I was remembering gaming in general, it always was.
Yeah. But it would be good to see, from our perspective, it'd always be great to see some more free PSVR games. And I hope they do. I hope they bring sort of like some of the back catalogue onto the PSVR Plus.
To be fair, doing Firewall this month is an amazing move. I think it's double XP as well till March. I think it is March 5th. Something like that.
Yeah, and with aim controller, it is just such a good thing there. So if you were thinking of getting like the original pack with the aim controller, instead of getting Firewall pack, you could get the what's the name of the game that came with first with the aim controller?
What, Farpoint?
Farpoint. Get the Farpoint game with the aim controller. And then you've got that and Firewall, and you're good to go. They're both brilliant games. Then you've got a single player game and a full on multiplayer game.
And it's co-op Farpoint, which is a brilliant co-op experience in virtuality.
Yeah. Someone else was sort of like mentioning again whether, I don't know if they do this, because they also mentioned about Rigs as well as one, as a really old example.
Yeah, Rigs would be
which
good.
is a great game, but we have had it already as a PS Plus game in the past.
Yeah, but like
Which
you're
is what
saying,
I think needs to come back again, because people bought into PSVR recently, wouldn't have played it and would just go straight past them. And I think some of that should really happen again.
Kev Gret's right. He said Starblood Arena, it was a PS Plus game because I went and bought it physically, and I think the next day or the day after it come to PS. No, it was a month after actually, because when I bought the game, no one was online. That's what it was. No one was playing, and I kept trying to, because it's really hard to stream a multiplayer game when no one's available. So I was like, oh man, well no one's playing this, I'll put it back. And then it happened on PS Plus, and obviously you saw a rise in the community. So that was pretty cool. And once you play that game with other people, it was superb graphically and the controls and stuff. I think it supported the HOTAS, as I remember playing with the guys. They was always using the HOTAS controllers and stuff. So yeah, it was a real shame because that game you can't play it now.
Yeah, I think it's, Rigs is still playable, and if there isn't people online, then it puts you in bots. But the other thing was, I think a lot of people have said it about Rigs before, that Rigs was too much ahead of its time. It was too early in the life cycle of the PSVR, because it was just too ambitious.
The graphics of that would still stand today, guaranteed.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Rigs looked amazing. It was one of my first games I ever played, actually.
And again, it goes back to one where, for esports, was designed to be of that type of thing. It's designed as an arena sport.
I was just want to say, Gamer Legends brought up a good thing. He put Rigs is not a good game for VR newbies. Now, if you go back and look at some of the old videos of Rigs, yeah, the first thing that got me into virtuality was I experienced a bit of vertigo, I think is the feeling, I'm not sure, where when you'd be standing there. So first of all, I didn't know about body tracking. So I've got the PSVR on, I've looked down, and I've got a body in virtuality. I tried to move my arms and legs, they're not moving. I'm like, okay. And then a robot picked me up and put me inside the mech suit. That feeling of leaving the ground and going into that robot was absolutely insane. As like, it was the first 5 minutes of me ever being in virtuality. They cut that bit. And there was another section I think they made optional, is that when you die, you fly up to the top of the arena in like a pod.
Right. And it's the pod you're in, if the robot gets shot out as a glass ball.
Yeah.
And the canopy will either close out and you'll have a blackout,
or you can see the whole
thing. The canopy is open
and
you see the entire arena and everything that's going on.
It was
so I loved that.
Are we a bit like Titanfall, yeah?
Yes. Yeah. Basically, it was making people hurl, apparently, when they were demoing it. And so they, first of all, they cut it, and then they brought it back as an option. Vivian, what's up? I see her smiling.
It's just funny to make people hurl.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, what is everyone's
Not
experience?
from my
You've got a
perspective.
vicious streak to you.
No,
You've got a vicious streak to you.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. It just made me laugh because we in alt space, because you can customize rooms and build things. We used to play a game. It's a board game called Codenames, and we built it in VR, and our group of friends would meet and play with it in it every night in a home in VR. But we put a mechanism in where if people were not paying attention or being too loud, like we would press the button with their name on it and they would fly up into the sky, and then they'd come back down. And it just made me think of that, because people would fly up and then they'd come back and they'd be like, sorry, Vivian. And then that's also how we would boo people. Like we would just send them up in the sky as a warning shot, like pay attention, please.
Nice.
That's cruel. I wouldn't. That's mean. It wasn't me. I didn't do that.
From my side, if someone hurls while playing one of our games, then we have done something wrong.
You
That's the
know
way that I
what?
look at
Yeah,
it.
I show VR to seniors, so there's like a whole process that I go
Yeah.
through to make sure they're comfortable, and there's a lot of things I put in place for safety. Like I have them sitting down, and I make sure no one else is talking while I'm talking, because I've had that where I'm trying to give direction on like the playing experience, and someone else was like, yeah, it's so great, and like talking over me, and they're like, yeah, just jump, and then the person fell because they actually
I
jumped.
can't imagine the
you know?
evils you give that person, Vivian. I bet you're like, just.
Bye.
And
I mean,
thanks,
do I
Scott.
have to? They made the mistake and they saw it, so it's like, you saw it. I don't have to say anything. But anyway, yeah, no, definitely there's a lot of safety that you put in place, and for instance, a lot of the women in I know that wanted to try Onward because I wanted to start a girls team. They tried it out and they also were like, oh, this is like making me a little nauseated trying it out. So you gotta build those sea legs, those VR legs.
That's it, the VR legs. So thank you ever so much to Scott Merrill. And this is directed at Daniel DX Falcon. What
I
VR needs
see.
now is Phantom Covert Ops release date.
I will say what I can say, and that is soon.
What?
Sorry. I would announce it, but
he had us on the edge of seats there.
Imagine that,
unfortunately, I
a
can't hear.
GT exclusive.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
It would be awesome.
But unfortunately, not this time.
Soon,
2020, there will be more
Soon
information.
is not a date.
There will be more information in the very near future. I promise. Unless I'm lying. That's what you work out.
That's very confusing.
Wow. Wow, how to phrase something for non-disappointment.
Right? You can tell I work in marketing.
Yeah, that's it. Guys,
yes.
If you've got any questions in the chat, now's the time to put them up, please. If there's anything that you need or you want to ask anyone, and obviously that is Daniel's answer for the release date, which I'm sure everyone wanted to know about anyway, and ask Vivian any questions or me. We'll do it now, get it out of the way, because I'm pretty sure, apart from one bit of news, if you've got the Half-Life VR mod from Lambada 1, which is very cool. It is on the channel. You did need to own Half-Life though, which is okay at the moment because it's free on Steam. And yeah, you can get that via side quest, I believe. And what they've done is he's now done support for Opposing Force, which is, I think, separate content you need to pay for. But to be honest, I haven't had the time to check it out myself, but I know from playing the first Half-Life VR mod, it is exceptional. Proper hand tracking and stuff, it's not just one of those things where you're just seeing everything in VR and that's the end of it. A bit like Alien Isolation is an amazing virtuality mod, don't get me wrong, but if you play like Doom 3, where you have hands in that game, it brings a whole extra level of immersion into the game. And Half-Life does that. Being able to use that crowbar to smash up the crates and things like that is superb.
I still have a problem on getting that to work on my Quest for some reason or another. It didn't quite kick in.
I had an issue first of all when I first used it, I believe, but then I got it going. So
yeah, I will at some point get it going. It's also time to play it because it's not exactly the shortest of games.
Yeah. Oh, Voidcat, so that was for you, man. He's put, what? Opposing Force? News to me. Well, there you go. That's what it's for. That's why it's been mentioned. For maybe that one or two people that didn't know about it.
So, Opposing Force and Blue Shift are included in the free Half-Life thing that's going on at the moment on Steam.
Oh, wicked. Cool. Well, there you go.
So, if you search Half-Life on Steam, for some reason, everything still comes up as full price. But you can buy it from there. And even if you did, it's a $5 if you want to buy it. So, it's not an issue.
Yeah. What's the episode they recommend? It's is it episode 2 that they recommend playing before playing Half-Life Alyx if you want to go that whole route?
I thought it was just the original Half-Life and Opposing Force Blue Shift because it's set in between Half-Life and Half-Life 2.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, Lambda.
Something there.
But Lambda 1, I highly recommend. That is a really well-made mod.
It is superb. The only issue I had with it before was capturing audio. When you casted, it just gave an awful feedback noise, but I won't have that anymore. So I was thinking of streaming it again recently because I use like Bluetooth audio capture now, so that's gone, thank goodness, and I can enjoy, or people can enjoy me playing games, and it's looking good. So yeah, where are we now? So motion sickness. I've never really actually had motion sickness personally. I've never really experienced it. I've experienced something I think close to it, but when and it isn't evil, but it's almost like I say to someone, do you want to try virtual reality? And they go, yeah. And the first thing they ask for, and it must be a reason that it's in the top search, is a roller coaster. They want to do a roller coaster virtual reality experience. And I'm like, are you sure? Do you want to do that? Yeah, I'll do that. And this guy, he come round, he went in it, and he was like, well, take that. I thought he was enjoying it. And he just went, take it off, and he's pale, and like he was, oh, I'm gonna go home. And I spoke to him the next day, and he said it took 5 hours for that feeling to go, that sickness feeling.
Yeah.
See, I hadn't appreciated just how bad people get when I until I took my Quest up north with me over the holidays to my family's house. My little brother, who's been playing games since he was like 2, he was fine with everything. Played Pistol Whip, Beat Saber, all that stuff, no problem. Showed it to my dad, showed Vader Immortal, because it's such a good experience.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Put him on teleport movement, fine, absolutely no issues. He was really loving it. Then put him into Phantom, and just even the motion of the kayaking, which is, you probably know yourself, GT, it's a very comfortable game to play.
Yeah.
He got about 2 minutes into that and went, I can't play anymore. He gets horrible motion sickness.
Yeah.
But I think that it's something that all devs need to be quite aware of, is that is an issue that some people do have.
Yeah.
And I know there is always that, well, just get your VR legs, that's fine. But to an extent, I think there should always be games that do cater to people who haven't quite got there yet.
I think we've said it before, haven't we? We said about you can't have enough options for people.
Exactly.
You really can't. You've got to try and cater for everyone.
At any time, if you go in and you think, should we have this or this? It's a case of, should we have this or this? Oh, maybe we should make it an option.
Make it an option, title it correctly, get people to test it. You should be good.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think on the sickness thing, there's another thing to note in terms of development as well, because I've had a couple of alpha builds and things like that where I've tried them, and they got the VR cameras, the actual distances wrong.
Okay.
And basically, like your IPD.
Yeah.
If you get your IPD wrong, it's the extreme version of the IPD being wrong, and makes objects. They made the focal point wrong and the world scale incorrect.
Yeah, I've experienced that, but it's the worst.
It's awful.
Now, I love playing Pavlov. When you go in spectator mode in that, if you use the 2 grab buttons on your controller, and then clap your hands together, it'll drag the world and turn it into a diorama. But the closer you get to people, that is the one thing that makes me feel ill.
It
really is.
There was a thing where I was still basically one game that I played that was still an alpha build, and you're in a hangar, and you have a person there, and they're explaining what you've got to do. Just being in this hangar, a person there, and a plane in the background, and I got motion sick, and there was no motion.
That's weird. See, when I interviewed Ubisoft over Space Junkies, they were so sure that it was all about sound, because they basically used like astronauts to get their virtuality engine up to a certain point of where they sort of got rid of sickness. That's what they wanted to do, and they realised there was like a thing, I think they assumed that the slower you went in the game, the safer you'd be. They found out it was the opposite. Actually, going fast is fine. It's actually when you go too slow that it makes people feel sick. And but they were talking about how children don't get motion sickness and adults do, and they reckon that's something to do with the inner ear of workings. So yeah.
You want to hear something weird though? When people talk about getting motion sickness and just like getting car sick, is because your your mind is seeing that you're moving, but your body isn't, and so
Yeah.
it's like reconciling it. So when I had chemo, they gave me a lot of steroids, and it just made me so jittery. But I was also very fatigued because of the poison, and it was just like I was just really nauseated, but I was just shaking so much. And I put on VR so that my mind was seeing that I was moving, even though I was just too tired to move, and it just made me calm down a little bit because it helped with the jitters. It was so weird and strange and anecdotal, but that's kind of what helped me a lot. Since
That is very odd.
That's amazing.
yeah, I used VR a lot when since I live alone in Chicago. So I mean my family isn't always here, so I because it was very, very intense chemo, I had to like be in a room alone and everything. So I had like VR with me, and it just really helped calm down the jitters and everything.
Could you still be?
So-
Did you have access to the internet as well? Was you still social?
Oh yeah, for sure. Actually, I had a show. So actually, it was like what 2 years ago, coming up Valentine's Day. I had a Valentine's Day show scheduled right before my first like surgery, and then I got really sick, and so I couldn't. I had to go to the hospital and stay there because I was losing so much blood, and so I had to have a blood transfusion. So I had a blood transfusion, and I did my show in VR because I had my gear with me. So it was
That
pretty
is
cool.
cool.
Like, yeah, it was nice to just be able to put it on. I'm like, I mean, the show, I did it for 30 minutes instead of an hour, but I'm like, it didn't work. You can't see it in VR. They just see my avatar, so there was
Yeah.
no like, they didn't see any of the blood. But it was cool to be able to do that. So it's kind of weird how it's like the opposite of, like, I kind of needed it to help me counteract already being sick. So
Yeah, and also that's why
It's
if you can,
interesting,
you should
actually.
give blood if you can, because I think that's really important.
It's,
Exactly that.
Yeah, that. There is obviously odd accounts as well of people who are highly motion sick in real life, going into VR and just slowly building up their tolerance there, and then discovering that they can actually then stand motion in real life that they've never been able to stand before. So actually curing real life motion sickness with VR motion sickness and using that as a therapy type there to get over real life motion sickness, which is another way around it.
See, the weird thing
which,
is, right, when I was younger, I was travel sick really badly for years.
mm,
And I actually found out later on that if I'd have sat in the front, I'd have been less ill. It was always sitting in the back that made me really ill. But even now, in the work vans, if I go in the back of the van, I say to the guys, I'm like, I can't look at my phone, I can't eat, I've just got to wait. And most of the time they're like, yeah, sit up the front, man, it's cool, they're all right. But yeah, even now, that is the only time I feel that sickness. It doesn't come on very quickly. I mean, it can take half an hour, but it'll happen and it'll stop me feeling, my feeling of hunger will go, which is probably nice if you're trying to lose weight, which I do need to do, but I don't want to feel sick doing it. So yeah.
yeah, I have to sit in the front seat too. That's how I always get the front seat. I do get sick, I do, but I do like to sit in the front seat of my brother's Tesla too. So
Oh, nice.
Oh, look at you, the fancy brother with his Tesla.
yeah, I'm like, oh, I get motion sickness. I need to sit in the front.
That's it,
you
yeah.
you don't want to press the button that makes it do the hyperdrive thing or play the games on the big screen at the front.
Oh no,
That's
actually, the scary drawback is my brother's a terrible driver, so you also get sick watching him. Like, luckily, it's automatic sometimes, and like, why are you looking at your phone? It's like, oh, the car is driving. Okay.
Yeah, it's
It's a give
crazy.
and take.
My friend does that. It depends on the. I think when I went in his one, depending on the speed you do, is how often it checks whether you're looking at the road. And yeah, he can actually sleep for certain areas while driving home because it self drives. So he sets it at like 65, I think it is, and I can't remember the time, but I know he gets enough time to nod off quickly, and then wake up again just to look at the panel, and it goes, yeah, you're still awake, and he goes, right, back to sleep again. So yeah, he's just one of them people, and
We've got
yeah.
something coming up from this as well about feeling G-forces and feeling G-forces in VR. And obviously there's a lot of sim rigs out there that do different things. And one of them's called the Feel 3, which works on it's like a big round dome thing, and it can actually put you all the way back. So if you want to actually feel 1G of force pushing down in a chest, it will actually put you up at 90 degrees. So
Oh,
you're
that's cool.
lying all the way back and then force all the way forwards and stuff like that as well. Plus, there's a lot of other things that you can do that really do fool you into thinking you're feeling a higher amount of G-force than you are. Because obviously, as GT would say, we've tried some different sims there. I think the one that I tried was about £50,000 worth. So
Oh yeah, it's
about
crazy.
yeah, $60,000-$70,000 worth of sim machine, and every single time you slam on the brakes of the car, and the motion moving forwards, and then it actually had the seat belts pull you back into the seat at the same
Yeah.
time. It was so convincing.
That was the EGX, wasn't it? Resed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. That's probably the highlight of the whole thing if you're into virtual reality.
Oh god, yeah.
That was awesome. So yeah.
Can I quickly change topic based on something someone said in the chat?
Yes, please.
Oh, do.
I'm not sure if you mentioned this last week, but Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners, you can physically crouch now.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It was a 6 gig update as well, so there's obviously
6 gig
something
update
else
for that.
going on.
Now, I'm going to make a lot of people angry by saying this.
Yay.
I'm not very happy with that update, to be honest. The fact they've made that the default. I really enjoy playing that game sat down.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
But can't you
but
adjust your
no
height
choice.
or calibrate? Or
Well, no, so like you can, and I think you can still enable it. I haven't actually played Walking Dead since the update came out, but apparently you can rebind it so it doesn't auto crouch and you have the press button thing. It might just be me, the fact that I play the game seated and stuff.
No, it doesn't matter if you're seated, because I played it earlier today with the update. So if you start seated, you can still use the button.
Oh, okay.
I was just going to say, normally the game will calibrate to how you start.
Yeah.
They don't ever say that. I've never seen it ever expressed in any tutorial or anything. But when you use VR a lot, you realise that some games, PlayStation actually is great for this. You can retrack so easily and change your height in a game very easily. If you're too high, you basically just like go down a little bit, recenter, and then stand back up again, or vice versa, if you know what I'm saying. You can trick the tracking into being a certain height. So yeah, and yeah, South was right. If you start a game at a certain height, it'll stick you there.
Yeah, so you've not got a problem there. You'll sit down like you normally will. The button will still work, and you'll still be at a natural height at your start.
Well,
so what the auto thing does is the way they work it is that before, if you started to move up or down, they forced it to keep in track with you.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Now they will let you move naturally.
Okay, well, in that case, I take back that critique, because obviously, like I say, I haven't played the game since the update because I'm lazy about getting my games updated.
You're good to go.
Yeah, no, that's excellent then. In that case, take back my critique. I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. It's actually a great thing to bring up because we've got through a conversation about it. So it makes complete sense to discuss it.
Yeah.
Vivian's moved location by the looks of it.
Yeah.
In front of
Northern Lights.
An aurora there.
You know, I was just it's interesting to hear when people talk about these different things from a non like competitive perspective, because like messing with your height is against the rules, and you know, for some games, and there's like an anti-cheat so that you can't do those kind of things, like mess with your height and stuff. Because like in Onward, your models are you have an advantage for messing with your models. So if your model is small but you're actually taller, you can actually see over a certain height, you know, or it helps you fit into certain things. So
there you go.
So I was going to say, myself playing Onward presents quite a large target, and apparently I'm quite tall.
You'd like to be Odd Job from GoldenEye.
How tall?
I am 6'2".
That's tallish, yeah.
So, like I say, I wouldn't want to try and go competitive against some people who are like 5'3".
So you're quite tall as well, aren't you?
5'1.5".
Well, we're both the same height.
Oh, that's Diddy. Wait, how
Yeah,
tall are
we're
you?
both the same height, GT. We're
Oh.
both 6 foot.
Yeah, bang on.
Yeah.
So yeah, excellent stuff.
It's my grandfather who was really tall. He was 6'10".
Oh,
6'10".
Absolute unit.
Wow.
I've been 6 foot tall since I was about 12 and a half. I stopped growing when I was 12 and a half.
Nice. Well, there
I
you go.
haven't started growing yet. I'm still waiting.
It'll happen. Don't
You'll
worry.
get there.
Yeah.
You know what? When people say like, "Oh, you're a small target in Onward," it's not fair. Well, think about it. In Onward, it takes a few shots to get you down, right? But a headshot is a headshot. You're down. So if you and I are trading, I would probably hit your belts and you'd hit my head. So suck it up.
That's fair.
Buddy.
Exactly.
Well, the only other problem I find is with VR, and it comes to crouching under things as well, which is why I'm with Daniel on the whole sometimes sitting down things, especially with some games. You have to move so much further to be able to crouch. Now, I'm a big guy as well, and it it's not always the best thing for me. So it's like, ow, moments can happen. Especially if I lean on my left knee first. So busted knee and things like this are not good when you're taller and you can't reset the bar at which you become crouched in a VR game. So for me, the competitive side on that would be out the window in some cases.
Well, knee pads for one, and you know how you can.
This is competitive talk. That's the thing. We don't know this stuff. We're talking. This is serious now.
You get knee pads, and then of course, like your Pro Tube or Memu, whatever you use for aiming. So if you go prone, but a lot of players who go prone, if you're not like a sniper and you're set in that position, and even then, is I go prone, but I'm not actually laying flat on my stomach. I'm crouched down like on my elbows, but my legs are still up so that I can get up really fast if I have to, so I can quickly snapshot. So you kind of like crouch down a bit, but you're not completely all the way down, but knee pads are.
So that's how she gets the headshots.
Yeah. Well,
I get the headshots from, I don't know. I don't get headshots. I wish you didn't bring that up. Such a sore subject.
Oh, sorry.
Just lie. Just tell everyone you're amazing at it. It doesn't matter. That's fine.
Yeah, no, you can watch the videos on my YouTube or like on the Coletto's YouTube or Twitter and stuff like that. They've been playing really well.
Can you
I say
post,
they like when my team
Can
plays.
you post the Coletto's Twitter link? Is that okay in the chat, please?
Yeah, sure.
If you can.
Well,
while she finds that, just to go back to what Salsa was saying there about crouch heights when you're relatively tall, I've generally not had that too big of an issue outside of in.
I'll be back in a second.
Outside of in Aspire 1, which, don't get me wrong, I love Aspire. Great game. My one issue with that is that for that I feel like I have to like properly hunker way down.
Yeah. I found that I have a couple of issues where I end up with back issues or whatever. And it's happened for Beat Saber. It happens in Pistol Whip. It happens in a couple of other games as well. Just where they set the crouch level, it's just that slight bit where it becomes uncomfortable.
Yeah, especially with Beat Saber, I get what you mean.
Yeah, I found Pistol Whip was actually possibly a little bit lower than Beat Saber even. And sometimes I would like, especially something like a rhythm game, where it happens a lot, if you can actually set what the height of your crouch would be. So I know with Silento, what they did, because there's a mechanic in Silento where if you jump and you crouch before you land, your character will slide across the floor.
All right.
But what they allow you to calibrate is the crouch height.
Oh, I get where you're going.
As soon as you do a crouch, it will actually do that so that you can then slide, so you have a calibration for it. And I think that'd be really great to have for some, Riven games or whatever, so that you can actually calibrate where the crouch height happens.
Someone made a comment about Peter Crouch's surname. It's truly ironic. So when we first started, when I wanted to make a team, the lowest height you could be in Onward was 5'4", but me and a lot of the other girls were 5'3", 5'2", 5'1", and so our character models were always crouched. So I wanted to name the team the Crouch Potatoes. But it was, yeah, it was my favorite. Don't you want to be a crouch potato? I mean, but anyway, they adjusted the height, so you give it short now. And so the Colettos, it is.
Yeah, I think you've made the right choice.
Going
with that.
There's nothing pretty with the crouches, but
that is mental.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool guys. Unless anyone's got anything to add to this, I think it's been a fantastic show. Thank you for everyone being here in the chat. Thank you to DX Falcon, Daniel from End Dreams. Thanks for joining us today, man.
You're most welcome. And anytime you want to know about the game, you can always get me in the Discord.
Yes, you can.
I'm relatively active in there.
You're always active in there, dude. You're like always.
It's my job. It's my job to be.
Yeah. Oh, so it's not just my Discord. You're like in everyone's Discords.
I'm in everyone's Discord.
Posting your Spotify playlist or whatever it is.
Yes, I might do that far too often.
And yeah, Vivian Chazen, thank you for joining us today. Thank you.
yeah, thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been really cool.
Everyone.
Just like learning about you and the esports thing, especially because I remember when we first met, you said to me, "You should come and play. You should come and play." And I'm thinking, man, I am gonna look stupid playing.
Can I just say, for everybody out there, like, okay, so there's definitely even some of I think like Nathan, he's like, I'm not gonna play with you because I don't want to look stupid or anything, or Rowdy's like, I have an image and stuff like that, but like, you guys would probably kill me because think about it, you guys are gamers, right? You played a long time.
Gamers.
You know why?
Gamers.
Yeah, let's make sure that we quantify this. I'm not the person who's getting headshots. Now, GT, on the other hand, he's a monster.
I'm all right.
But you see why I like playing Onward. It's because it's like a game of chess. You're trying to figure out where your opponent is. You're communicating with your team, and you're trying to figure out like, oh crap, I am the last person. How do I get there? And it's a really, really cool puzzle, and it's like game theory. So that's what I really like about it. Whether I'm a good shot, not really. But if it's you and me on the battlefield, and I'm just trying to outsmart you, not really outshoot you, so to speak. And a lot of people will say like, well, I don't want to play, and they get really scared and intimidated. But like, I didn't even play any games, and I don't. It was ridiculous. That's what was the joke, was everyone's like, Vivian's playing Onward, that's ridiculous. They went on and streamed it. But you just kind of just jump in there and grab a player. We're happy to help you learn. And you'll actually do a lot better than you think you will. And that's really why I started playing, was that, hey, you know what? It's not as bad as I thought, maybe.
Apart from move your hand, because he would just run onto the field and go, I'm here.
That is a strategy, okay? Don't knock it.
If provided you don't need GTs to do stealth, I'm sure everything will be fine.
Oh yeah, he's no good at stealth.
I'm the king of stealth.
You think you're the king of stealth, dude. You are so not.
I really want to be. It's almost like I fantasize about being Sam Fisher. Or...
You wish.
I do.
You
I think
wish to be.
I do.
You crave to be, but you're just not that stealthy, man.
I am.
Yeah.
Really.
You come into the room and it's like,
I have to find a video. I have to find the video of you can see it. It's, since my gamer tag is control flirt delete, but they call me control. There's one called Control Loses Control, because you can hear me screaming in the clip because my team we killed the enemy, we won, but when I was trying to capture the objective, and I was like, and I was screaming, I throw the pad, and then I accidentally stabbed my teammate. Stabbed my teammate.
You stabbed your teammate.
That's how did you accidentally do that?
A pointy hug. So it happened. But I will.
Too, Vivian.
I will
At
drop
2.
it at 2. Yeah. I'm gonna drop a link of. Oh, I can't put that in there. But if you go down my Twitter.
Oh,
and
South
go
can
through-
or something. We can put that in there. We can get that.
Oh
that
yeah,
Twitter page in
it's
there
the
easy enough.
video of my team doing a really good play.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
They just did. Yeah, they did really awesome.
We can drop it in the
so-
Discord as well. So that'd be pretty
Paradise.
cool.
Yeah.
Paradise Decay in chat says GT's so stealthy he can hide behind an elephant and you can't see him.
Exactly. To be fair, I am a nightmare, right? So my friends never used to like playing normal games. I'm fine. I can be as stealthy as you like, but VR, because it's me and my body and stuff, it doesn't work very well. Like playing football, I used to break stuff, and if I kicked a ball, it wouldn't go in the goal. It would smash a window, or it's just everything just goes wrong. Do you know what I mean? I'm quite heavy-handed. I think bull in a china shop. People used to say all the time. Bull in a china shop. So
one of these days, I'll give you a proper how-to guide on how to stealth GT.
I will need it. I honestly will need it. I'm not. There is a bit of a story about kicking a ball. The football thing is in particular that genuinely happened. I would kick it. It'd break a pipe. It'd break a window. Whatever happened, and we went to like a kiddies play centre. And I hadn't kicked a ball in years because of the damage it caused. And my friends used to call me like Iron Leg, like messing around, I think. And like the foam balls, like the gentle sponge balls. I went into the kids' football area and I thought, I can unleash full fury on this, give it a good kick. And I smacked it so hard, and it hit the ceiling and it broke a light, which broke the whole kiddies' play area. And they had to like evacuate it and corner it off. And
Nice.
yeah, but it was a
That
sponge.
takes real skill.
It was a sponge ball. I was like, this is impossible. I thought I was safe today to what is that? There's someone with you there, Vivian.
It's a cat. What? It's just. I heard you say cat.
Of course it is.
Kitty.
I haven't got any objects like that. Well, there you go. Right. Did you get that post in there, man, or are we gonna
No, I was trying to find out which clip it was that you were saying about. I'm not sure.
Nice.
The play that I sent.
Yeah.
It was a Twitch clip. Is that okay?
Cool.
I think so. Yeah, the Subway one or the.
Yeah, the Subway one. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
It was a nightmare because I really wanted to play football with my friends. I could slide tackle. I could run pretty fast, but I wouldn't be able to kick a ball and score. That'd be someone would just get hurt. So.
Never was football for me. It was always rugby growing up, and
Yeah, rugby.
I'm not built for rugby.
I was really good. I shouldn't self-praise myself for that. I enjoyed rugby. It suited me more than football. Once I realised you didn't have to kick a ball, I could just pick it up and run with it, and just push people over or whatever. That was better.
I played lacrosse. Do you guys have lacrosse?
We have.
I think it's a clothing brand, isn't it?
Oh, that's the
we
cost.
have lacrosse. We have lacrosse now.
Yeah, it's an American sport. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we didn't when me and GT was in school.
We had.
Which was
some time ago.
In 19.
What are you talking about? What? So what is this sport? What is it?
Have you never played lacrosse?
No.
He wouldn't played lacrosse. I haven't played lacrosse.
It's the most amazing, toughest game ever. I played on the boys' team because we didn't have a girls' team.
Wow.
I had to dress up like a boy, pretend to be a boy.
In
That
the
isn't
UK,
right.
we did have
We
lacrosse
just put a beard
back
on.
then for years ago.
Yeah.
But it was done in girls' schools only. It wasn't done as a boys' sport. There was no boys lacrosse.
That GameCat said it's lethal.
Yeah.
It is lethal. I was the goalie. I can tell you. I had a lot of bruises. I named them after
The most lethal
guys
sport.
That
Most lethal sport. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
You know, like Centurions, the films with the girls' school, and they've got these weird sticks with the little triangular bits of the nets in it.
That film straight
not
away.
A weird stick. It's a stick with a net.
Yeah, that literally sounds like a film I wouldn't watch anyway. So no, I still don't know what we're talking about. Yeah, what is that?
Okay, fine. I give up.
Is there swords in it? Martial arts?
No.
I don't know.
It's just swords and there's dragons.
Oh right, cool.
That's how we played it.
Someone said, do the Americans play Quidditch?
Yes, they do.
Yeah,
100%.
they do.
Wow, that is awesome.
Thanks,
Final-
Project. That's Project. He plays Onward too, but he's also the producer on the Hive and
Sounds cool.
No, speaking of lacrosse though, like that is dangerous. What's more dangerous is what I used to play in high school was called shinty, which no one's ever heard of outside of Scotland. It's basically it's like field hockey, but like 10 times more dangerous because there's basically no rules. You know how in hockey you have to play below the waist, right?
Yeah.
Well, in shinty you don't, so you can kind of whack it like you're playing golf.
Yeah.
On a
Yeah.
hockey
seen
field.
it.
So yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Looks like lacrosse too.
there's a lot of injuries. Great fun, but a lot of injuries.
Sure. What's Dave's station wrote? I don't even know how to. Jai Ally? Is that say? Jai Ally?
Where's that?
Dave Station VR. Do you guys have? I'm not sure even how to pronounce that. It's like soccer played with.
A bunch.
Dialite.
I've got a dude. I've not heard that.
It is a sport involving a ball bounced off a walled space by accelerating it with a wicker device. Often played in Spain, southwest of France, and Latin American countries, according to Google.
Let's have a look
Okay.
at this. Oh, it looks like like the one in Tron. When they're in the
A little bit, yeah.
when they're on the circles, the circle grid,
Oh, I know the
Oh,
thing
hit
yeah,
it
with
up
the
and it comes
scoop.
down. It looks like those
Yeah.
sort of gloves. It looks a bit like they're
Cool.
dressed like cricketers. That looks wicked.
Yes, that's one I know. We had these in.
That looks a fantastic sport. I like
Everyone's
the
like,
look
yeah,
of
these
that.
are fantastic. How do we turn it into VR? Is what everyone's thinking right now.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. I'm like going through all of these going, ooh, let's pitch that one and that one.
Yeah, that does
See
look
what-
really good. The Dave Station. That sounds awesome.
Okay. Wow.
There you go then.
We went from leaving to staying to a different conversation again.
That's what happens in
As
these
we do.
podcasts.
Sorry.
It is. It is.
That's what it's all about. So yeah, once again, thank you to the special guests today, Daniel and Vivian. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Thanks for having us.
And
Thanks.
make sure you subscribe or follow these guys. If you get in Discord, I'll send you any links you want to them if you haven't got them yet, and we can find them there. Also, thank you to Salsa from Salsa Ketchup VR.
Good night, people.
Excellent stuff, and he's going to be busy editing the audio version of the show, so you can go and listen to it in your own time on Spotify. Because I still don't know what Anchor is. I've never used it. Nothing wrong with Spotify.
We'll add the lollipop sound effects afterwards.
Yes, yes. I don't know. I
You
can't
giving me-
comment.
I've got work first thing in the morning. You know, I've got to go through and add lollipops going. You know.
Yeah. So there you go. But yeah, thanks guys. I hope you all have an amazing week and play lots of games of virtuality. And I'm sure I will see you all at some point. Take care of yourselves. Thank you very much. See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.